agents and ionophores. Now these uncoupling agents uncouple oxidation from phosphorylation. These uncoupling agents allow oxidation of NADH and FADH2 and reduction of molecular oxygen at high levels, but they don't permit ATP synthesis. Okay, oxidation of NADH and FADH2 is happening, reduction of oxygen is happening, but ATP synthesis is not occurring in the presence of these uncoupling agents. So electron transport is occurring continuously, but ATP synthesis stops in the presence of uncoupling agents. But the most common uncoupling agents are 2,4-dinitrophenol, that is DNP, then dicomarol, and then cyanide P trifluoromethyloxyphenylhydrazone, FCCP. Okay, these are the most common examples of uncoupling agents. Okay, in the presence of these uncoupling agents, the electron transport is taking place, but the ATP synthesis is not. Now this DNP is a weak acid which is soluble in lipid bilayer in both protonated neutral forms as well as in anionic state. Now DNP in the anionic state picks up proton in the intermembrane space and then it diffuses across the mitochondrial membrane. Okay, DNP in the anionic state picks up proton from the intermembrane space and then it can readily diffuse across the mitochondrial membrane. Okay, so it diffuses across the mitochondrial membrane, it goes into the matrix, and in the matrix this protonated form of DNP releases protons. Okay, so this DNP picks up protons from the intermembrane space, then it goes into the matrix, and in the matrix it releases a proton. So this is how the DNP dissipates the proton gradient and inhibits the ATP synthesis. Okay, it picks up protons from the intermembrane space, then it releases it into the matrix, and that is how DNP is able to dissipate the proton gradient, and that leads to the inhibition of the ATP synthesis. Because there is no proton gradient, there will be no ATP synthesis. Now the energy released by the oxidation of NADH in the presence of DNP is converted into heat. Okay, if there is oxidation of NADH is taking place and DNP is also present in the system, then the energy released due to the oxidation of NADH will be converted into heat and not into ATP. Now this dicomarol and FCCP, these two uncoupling agents also act in the same way as DNP. Okay, they also pick up protons from the intermembrane space and then they bring it into the matrix and they release it into the matrix, and that is how they dissipates the proton gradient, and that is how they avoid the ATP synthesis. Okay, both of them, dicomarol and FCCP. Now thermogenin is also an example of uncoupling agents. It is a physiological uncoupler which is found in the brown adipose tissue, and the function of this thermogenin is to generate body heat in case of newborn and hibernation in animals. Okay, so during hibernation in animals, the body heat is generated by this thermogenin which is found in brown adipose tissue. Okay, it is a physiological uncoupler. Now these ionophores are a lipophilic molecule. Okay, they bind with the specific cation and then this ionophore transport these specific cations across the membrane. Okay, specific cations are transported across the membranes with the help of ionophores. Now these ionophores uncouple the electron transfer from the oxidative phosphorylation by dissipating electrochemical gradient across the membrane. Okay, the electrochemical gradient is dissipated by ionophores, and that is how they uncouple the electron transfer from the oxidative phosphorylation. Now this valinomycin is an antibiotic and it is an example of ionophore. Now the addition of this valinomycin makes the inner mitochondrial membrane permeable for potassium ions. Okay, the inner mitochondrial membrane, inner mitochondrial membrane becomes permeable for potassium ions in the presence of this valinomycin. Okay, this valinomycin causes the movement of potassium ions along the concentration gradient from the cytosol into the matrix. Okay, the potassium ions from the cytosol comes into the matrix in the presence of the valinomycin. And the movement of potassium ions from the cytosol into the matrix decreases the membrane potential component of PMF without affecting the pH gradient and thus decreases the ATP synthesis. Okay, the PMF, okay, the membrane potential component of PMF decreases because of the movement of potassium ions from the cytosol into the matrix, and this results into decrease in the ATP synthesis. Okay, so valinomycin, which is an ionophore, causes the decrease in ATP synthesis, and that's its function. Now let's read about ATP-ADP exchange across the inner mitochondrial membrane. Now the major function of oxidative phosphorylation is to generate ATP from ADP and PI. Okay, from ADP and PI, ATP is generated through oxidative phosphorylation. That is what its major function is. Now most of the ATP which is generated by oxidative phosphorylation in the mitochondria is exported in the cytoplasm. Okay, ATP is generated in mitochondria and then it is exported in the cytoplasm for the further use. So that is the reason why this mitochondria must have a mechanism to export ATP and to import ADP and PI. Okay, so ADP and PI comes into the mitochondria, then there is conversion of this ADP and PI into ATP, and then mitochondria exports this ATP. Now the thing is that this ATP and ADP do not diffuse freely across the inner mitochondrial membrane. And that is the reason why a specific transport protein known as ATP-ADP translocase, which is also known as adenine nucleotide translocase, act as an antiporter and mediates the transport of ADP and ATP across the inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay, this ADP and ATP do not diffuse freely across the inner mitochondrial membrane, and that is the reason why this ATP-ADP translocase exists, which act as an antiporter and mediates the transport of ADP and ATP across the inner mitochondrial membrane. Now the ADP enters the mitochondrial matrix only if ATP is there in the matrix. If the mitochondrial matrix is having ATP, then only ADP will enter. If the mitochondrial matrix don't have ATP, then ADP will not enter. And similarly, if the cytosol, if cytosol is having ADP, then only from the mitochondrial matrix ATP will enter into the cytosol. Okay, so this is how it is. If in the mitochondrial matrix ADP is not there, it means ADP is there. And if ADP is already present in the mitochondrial matrix, then why extra ADP should come? And similarly, if in cytosol ATP is there, enough ATP is present in the cytosol, then there is no need of ATP. There is no need of transporting ATP from the matrix into the cytosol, and that is the reason why if enough ATP is present, then from mitochondrial matrix the more ATP will not come. Okay, so this is how the system works. Now this ATP ADP translocase moves 4 negative charges out of every 3 moved in. Now this activity is favored by the transmembrane electrochemical proton gradient, and because of this the mitochondrial matrix have the net negative charge. Okay, mitochondrial matrix has net negative charge because this ATP ADP translocase moves 4 negative charges out of every 3 moved in. Now this ATP ADP translocase function is inhibited by toxic glycoside atracetyloside. Okay, atracetyloside inhibits the ATP ADP translocase function. Now this ATP ADP exchange is energetically expensive, and this ATP ADP exchange is powered by the transmembrane proton gradient which exists across the inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay, the proton gradient is giving the energy for this ATP ADP exchange. Now this phosphate translocase is the second membrane transport system, and this phosphate translocase promotes the symport of one H2PO4 and one H plus ion into the matrix. Okay, the symport of one H2PO4 minus and one H plus ion is promoted by this phosphate translocase, which is second membrane transport system. Now at pH 7, the phosphate exists as both, that is H2PO4 2 minus and H2PO4 minus. But this phosphate translocase is specific for H2PO4 minus. Okay, the phosphate translocase is specific for H2PO4 minus. I made a small mistake there, that this phosphate exists as HPO4 2 minus as well as H2PO4 minus at pH 7, but this phosphate translocase is specific for this H2PO4 minus. Now this phosphate translocase transport process is also powered by transmembrane proton gradient. Okay, this transmembrane proton gradient is providing power for this phosphate translocase transport process to occur. Thus, this proton motive force is responsible for ATP synthesis as well as the transport of this ATP, ADP and PI. Okay, ATP synthesis as well as the transport of ATP out of the matrix and the transport of the ADP and PI into the matrix. For both of these processes, the proton motive force is responsible. Now, a complex of ATP synthase, ATP ADP translocase and phosphate translocase is known as ATP synthasome. Okay, ATP synthasome is a complex which contains 3 things. First is ATP synthase, then ATP ADP translocase, and then phosphate translocase. So this is your mitochondria, this is inner membrane, this is outer membrane, this is the matrix, and this is your phosphate translocase. With the help of this phosphate translocase, H plus ions and H2PO4 minus ions are going in the matrix from the cytosol, and this here is your ATP ADP translocase, and with the help of this ATP ADP translocase, the ADP3 minus is coming in the matrix from the cytosol, and from the matrix the ATP is going out in the cytosol.